Hello, welcome to the Franny Do Makes channel. My name is Fran. Today I am going to run through 10 ideas that you may want to use your yarn advent calendar to knit a project with this year's Advent time. So I have several options, different for shawls, cowls, throws, blankets, and even some socks and garments as well. So I've got 10 options, just a quick little video just to give you some ideas if you're struggling to think of something. So yeah, let's get started. So first up is one I've not seen. It's not got very many projects on it either, but it looks like a really pretty wrap, and it is using brioche. This is called the Brioche Shawl, and the pattern is by Gregory. It is designed to use 24 colours of an advent calendar. It does look like the example used is a fade, but I think you could probably use any kind of colours. Similar to the, what was it called? The Brioche Adventure by Jonathan Tello. There's a lot of versions of that. This is just a little bit different. It's got more of a chevron in it, and you fade in and out of 2-colour brioche, so adding the next colour every time, like that. And I think it's a really pretty idea. Mine this year is not, I wish I'd seen this last year. I maybe would have had a go at this, because I think it's really pretty and I'd love to have a go at a bit more brioche. Yeah, so I think that's a really good option if that's the way that you want to go. So next up is the pattern that I chose to use my Advent from last year, which was the Castle View Yarns Fade Advent, which was a tropical themed colourway. So this is the ADVENTuresome wrap by Ambah O'Brien. So it's a rectangular wrap with an asymmetric end, which you use about 10 grams of each colour to make this motif, with some yarn overs, and so you've got this sort of increase area here and then you decrease here to make these sort of waves in the pattern. So with this you do also need a contrast colour, which I've chosen to use a grey, but it makes a lovely large wrap. I generally wear it as a scarf like that, but sometimes I do it an extra round as well to make a nice sort of cowl kind of thing. It's lovely and warm, and you can see all the colours there when you wrap it round. Ambah has loads of different patterns to use your advent calendar for, so if you're struggling to find something, and I think she has a discount off the patterns at the moment on the run up to Advent, so if you're quick you might get some cheaper patterns. Oh, my tea's too hot. There you go, and she has a knit along I think as well for the Advent patterns. So that is the ADVENTuresome wrap by Ambah O'Brien. I'd highly recommend it, it's beautiful. Next up is not your traditional Advent pattern. It's not designed to be an Advent, but it does use several colours, and I think you might be able to do it. So this is the Rainbow Road Shawl by Stephen West. Now this is a marled shawl, so with this he marls a main colour along with several different colours, but there's enough segments I think that you could do the full 24 colours in this pattern, or just short of, or what have you. Obviously the last one would use quite a lot more than the first one, or you could double up your strands. If you had the large 20 grams you might have enough to go all the way. But it's such an interesting shape, and Stephen West are always a good choice, aren't they? Just looks to be garter stitch, increases, decreases. It's probably got an I-cord edge on the side. I think that's a winner chicken dinner. It would also be a great one just to use up all your minis, and I think I've got a good selection here. I could maybe knit one of those at some point again. Who knows? Anyway, so yeah, I think that's a really good idea and one a bit different as well. Okay, so moving on. Right, the next pattern is by Therese Hedlund, and this is the Giddy About Advent Shawl. Another wrap style with some pointed ends on either side. This one has some garter stitch from what I can see. Garter stitch and lace sections intermingled throughout the shawl, so alternating garter stitch and like I said, lace patterns. Looks like eyelets, doesn't look anything too challenging, but if you wanted something a bit more interesting than just knit, I think this would be a really good option. Looks to be a good size. Again, the example used is a fade, but I have seen examples where it's not a fade, or you could organise your yarns into some kind of gradient if you liked. But I think that's a really nice, pretty object. Like I said, you've got lots of different interesting stitch patterns in there as well, so if you're that kind of knitter or you want that kind of project, I think that'd be a really good one. Right, the next pattern is, I'm moving on to cowls now, so the next one is a cowl. This is the one that I think I'm going to make this year with my Ducky Darlings Wizard of Oz Advent. Oh, I can't wait to start opening it. I think it's going to be so much fun, and to watch the change of I think it follows the narrative of the film, so that should be quite fun. So this one is the Festive Cheer Cowl, and this is by Yarnia Designs. Just a simple tube style cowl with some mosaic knitting in the middle. Oh, just bear with me, my phone's ringing. Oh, sorry about that. It was Sky trying to give me a better deal, but they couldn't because I've already got all the discounts. But nice for Christmas time. Oh, that's nice now. Feeling festive. I've even put my jumper on for you. I did have a headband on as well, but you couldn't see it, so I took it off. So what was I saying? Oh, the Festive Cheer Cowl. So yes, it is, as I said, just a round and round tube style cowl, which you start with a provisional, I think, and then you join it in the round. And it just has some mosaic knitting with a contrast colour, just to break up the different sections, which I think I'll have enough of the grey that I used in this to use for that, so I don't have to buy anything new. And I just like the idea of a nice long wraparound cowl, stockinette, just something to show off the colours nicely. I'm guessing there's going to be quite a lot of speckle colourways in the pattern, so I didn't want anything too busy. And I did see, I think it was Paula last year had done a cowl or a scarf in that style without the mosaic, but just stripes, and it just looked really nice and easy and fun. So that's my choice for this year. So far, it could always change. This just uses 10 grams of each colour, so I'll have 10 grams left over from my 20 gram minis, but I'll probably use those to put into my square blanket, which is another good choice for anything using minis. Right, so next up is another cowl. Now the pattern isn't out yet, it comes out on the 1st of December, but it's I've seen the design on Ellie's YouTube. So this is the new cowl pattern by Ellie Jones of Craft House Magic. If you look on her last video, I think it is, she's got an example to show you. But basically it's either you can either knit it in a DK or in a 4-ply. It's just a simple tube style cowl again, but I think a bit shorter. And it has like a zigzag pattern of stitches, so again really good for any speckle colourways, I would say. It's just a simple zigzag motif that's on the yarn. It looks really nice. So yeah, that's another good example, and another that I think would be really nice. If you've bought Ellie's Advent calendar itself, I think you get that pattern included with it, and that looks like a really good choice. Okay, so next up, I'm moving on to sort of throws or blankets. So my first choice for this would be the Northeasterly by Skeinanigans. This is just, again, a simple, I suppose a chevron shape, but really good for using up odds and ends, minis, small pieces of yarn. And the beauty of it is that you can use it in several different ways. You could, I think, because you knit it in strips, so you could knit a strip and add another strip and have a scarf, or more and more and have a wrap, or you could join them together, make a cowl. I think there's loads of good options for this, and you could start off thinking, oh, I'm going to make a blanket, get bored, and just turn it into something else. Again, it's just garter stitch back and forth. You can just use small needles. I think it's a really good choice, and something that would be easy to pick up and put down if you wanted more of a long-standing project. So that's the Northeasterly by Skeinanigans. Okay, so the next choice that I'm putting forward is another pattern by Ambah O'Brien. This is a blanket pattern, and this is the Radvent-Therese. So this is square motifs. It's perfect for a 24 colour set, or to use up any leftovers that you've been saving. So you could do it as kind of a memory blanket. You do need a contrast colour to join the squares together and to border it if you like, but it's a really nice sort of, I don't know what, sort of like a cross. It's like triangles in either side, but it looks really nice with, you know, if you've got an advent with all different colours, not a fade or anything. I think it would look really nice just to show off the yarns really nicely, especially if they're quite solid colours. I think it would work really well. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So the example that she's shown is a full 24 set, but you could always add more. If you've got any more minis, you could add to that and make a nice giant blanket. So that's that one. So the next pattern that I've chose is another one that I'm thinking I'm going to use, which is the 24 days socks. So because I've still got some gift knitting that I'm doing, and I want to be able to still do that and not work too much on the Advent project until maybe I finish the gift knitting, but I want to still be able to show off the yarns that I'm using and to have some fun with it. So I'm going to try and start these for the 1st of December. They are the 24 days socks by Emma Potter of Potter and Bloom, and they're just a really fun way of using up your colours to show off the sequence that they come in, or you know, whatever sequence you like, but it's nice to show the sequence that they come in if you're going to not use them for that kind of, if you're not going to use them in sequence in your normal main project. And then you just need a contrast colour to knit the stripes in between. She's also got a cowl that is a knit and crochet cowl using the same kind of method, if you like that kind of thing as well. And the but yeah, I'm going to try and do the 24 day socks and probably, I think, knit them concurrently. So I have a light grey that I have from my shawlography, the leftovers from that. I'm thinking I should have enough to use that for the socks. Let's hope. Okay, so they are the main ones. Oh, there's one more which comes as kind of a bit of a group. So I've seen some people use their advents to make a garment or a jumper or anything else. Now there are some garments out there like the Radvent cardigan and like the, I think it's called My Favourite Adventure by Dragonheart Designs. Now they're specifically made for Advent calendars and just use the Advent yarn, but I've seen some really good examples when I've been looking, especially for fades, of just using your Advent fade yarn to make a jumper. So I've seen the Closey Classic Raglan by Jessie Maid, I've seen the So Faded Sweater by Andrea Mowry, I've seen the Flax Light as well. So just using that yarn to just fade through the pattern. So yeah, there you go. So they're my top 10, well not my top 10 but just 10 ideas for you. As I said, I'm going to try and do the 24 days cowl, and I'm going the 24 days socks and the festive cheer cowl. So yeah, excited to start the Advent, get the box open and have a look at the yarns. I'm so excited to see what it is. Hopefully I will be trying to do Vlogmas this year. I don't know how it's going to go, I don't know how interesting my life is, but anyway, I'll try and keep up with it. Might not be every day, but I'll try my best. So yeah, watch this space. Those will be on the way, and there'll be a new podcast next week. So yeah, so I hope I've inspired you to decide what you might like to make with your advent calendar. Please drop me a note below if you have decided what you're going to make, or if you're making something different. It'd be great to see all the different projects that people are going to make. So yeah, comment below, give this video a like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you again soon. Happy knitting, bye bye!